what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm back at my favorite filming spot location, but as you can see, the raindrops are coming down, but as they say, the show must go on. And what do I have for you? It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Volvo V60 Cross Country B5 all-wheel drive Ultimate. I know it's a mouthful, but guess what? We have all-wheel drive Supreme wagon style going on here. But before we get into this Swedish import of a wagon, let's talk about what's going on here. When I think wagons, I mean, I think back to being a kid and seeing those boxy Volvos going down the road, especially with, they had these weird headrests that were like, must have been made out of rubber, that had these horizontal bars instead of an actual cloth or leather headrest. And I used to think to myself, wow, those cars are really unique. Well, guess what? It seems now that we live in this day and age where everywhere you look, every 10 seconds, there's an SUV of some size or shape going down the road. But I'm very happy to say that Volvo is still bringing a wagon. So what is this going to compete against? This is going to compete against an Audi A6 Allroad, or some people would say that this would be a high-end version of a Subaru Outback, which is technically, believe it or not, a wagon, even though they classify it as an SUV. Lots of confusion, as you can tell, within the auto industry with a lot of gray areas. But what I want to find out is it, first of all, better to go wagon than SUV? And second of all, is this better than the Audi, spending more money for the Audi A6 Allroad, or is it worth the extra money over a Subaru Outback? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our V60 Cross Country and find out. Right off the bat, it's that classic wagon shape to it. The benefit of that is that you're gonna have a lower vehicle, lower chassis, lower center of gravity, but wait until I show you the interior. You don't skimp on passenger volume or cargo volume. Now at the front of the business, you're gonna get that signature LED lighting. They literally call it Thor's hammer. LED turn signal also built into that daytime running lamp. You got your quadrant of LED headlights. And then I'm happy to report you're still getting LED fog lamps, but you're getting this little area. I'm not gonna zonk it because they didn't make it look totally like a vent. They came close, but I'm gonna let it slide. Now, when you compare this to the front of an Audi A6 Allroad, you'll see a little bit more similarities, even though that's a German Euro vehicle. This, though, is much more elegant, much more classy than a Subaru Outback. I like the way it's got the flat black on the lower portion, because remember, this being a cross country is meant to go off the beaten path. Now, as we come across that front grille, such a unique shape to it. You have these vertical slots, and I like the way they put these little diamond kind of imprints on each of the vertical slots just to give it a little pop to it. You got that Volvo badge in the center. That's where they place the forward-facing camera. The shiny chrome stuff around the perimeter of the grille opening, but down below, more of that flat black area. It is fully functional, and lurking behind there is an intercooler, because remember, we have a turbocharged intercooled power plant, which, just like the A6 and just like the Subaru Outback, you can get turbocharged power plants in those as well. Now, as we rise up, you have a very long hood. But what I like about it is the way they do their indentations. Nothing too hard and crisp, but it has a nice, elegant flow, and it kind of V's off into the A-pillars. I feel like this is a vehicle a lot of people overlook. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So you're gonna find this multi-spoke machined aluminum gloss black wheel, 19-inch wheels all the way around, 235 on the width, 45 series sidewall. Of course, we're gonna have special tuned suspension at all four corners. And being a cross-country trim, that means going off-road, we do get a little bit of flat black cladding around the fender opening. Let me know how you feel about that. I actually think it's not that much, and I like the way it's angled. It gives it a nice sporty, overall aggressive feel to it. Now, coming down the rest of the vehicle, those Sleek lines. You do have power folding mirrors, all body colored with your LED turn signals. Up top, we're gonna have these shiny silver roof rails. You can get your crossbars. You have a panoramic roof. And then remember, another thing about the wagon being lower is when you put stuff up top, if you have a cargo basket or cargo carrier or whatever, it's not a very far reach. Whereas if you have to go like this or get a ladder. Gloss black treatment around the window openings. I'm glad that they did that because I feel like if they did silver, that would be too much silver on the side of the vehicle. We have color matched door handles. And then that flat black is actually with some flat, this almost like machine metal. I like this aluminum style to it. Look at the way it says Cross Country. I'm gonna wipe the water away. Cross Country. Just a nice little extra touch to kind of show the ruggedness and to give you where the name badge is instead of putting more badges on the actual paint job. Now, as we come towards the rear, you got a good sized quarter window, nice shape to it, that crisp body line coming into the quarter panel, and then swinging around back. Love the Volvo taillights. The way they extend all the way up to that roof spoiler, full LED, look at all the cool detail in there. Like I said, ours has all-wheel drive. It's a B5 all-wheel drive. I'm not gonna zonk the rear wiper. For some reason, on a wagon or a hatchback, it works a lot better than on an SUV, especially a cross-country version of this Volvo. You got the Volvo name prominently displayed, and then V60. So like I was saying, it would be a little too obnoxious if we had cross-country badging on the actual hatchback area. And then as we go down to ground level, super clean on the lower bumper area. And you'll notice this is another place where they stamp the Cross Country name in our flat black on the lower bumper. I don't know, like I said, these Volvo wagons have been around for such a long time, and it's such a shame that more people can't appreciate them. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering our Cross Country. All right guys, we got the hood popped. When you pop this hood, you need to stand back because first of all, it opens very quickly. Second of all, look how high it goes. I mean, for you to actually close it, you have to come to the side. Very interesting, but it gives you a bird's eye view of underneath the hood. Tasteful engine cover. You'll notice on the back side, I'm gonna have Steven swing around and show off our turbocharger right there by the firewall. But what do we have going on? It's a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4 with a mild hybrid setup, putting out 247 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds flat, and top speed is governed to 115 miles an hour. MPGs, 23 in the city, 31 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 4,151 pounds, and you could tow up to 2,000 pounds with this wagon. So very interesting to see the kind of power that we're looking at. Remember, with the Outback, depending on the trim, you can get that 2.4-liter turbocharged engine, which is going to give you some nice oomph. And same thing with the Audi A6 Allroad. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this engine and see this move. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Volvo, say it with me, V60 Cross Country B5 all-wheel drive ultimate trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've been trying to convince my significant other we don't want an SUV. I don't like SUVs. I don't like the way they drive. They're too big. It just annoys me. But I'm digging this wagon. And it's hard here in the United States to find a wagon. So how much is this one? Very good question. MSRP, this one is $62,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I like the sleek, smooth style. So you got all black, soft touch material. You have 2 memory seat settings for the passenger and 2 for the driver. Plus we have the premium sound system there with those aluminum speaker grill covers, the Bowers and Wilkins sound system. Armrest, soft to the touch, and then it has the contrast stitching. No gloss black around the switchgear. And down below, you'll be easy to get a large 1 pound bag of Swedish fish and easily a nice Swedish package of meatballs there from IKEA. Now going from the door panel to the dash, love the real open pore wood, nice wood finish. Looks classy without looking fuddy-duddy. The stitching is great. Even the way that they do the materials on the dash. Slide on in. Up top, you'll actually find the center speaker for the Bowers-Wilkins system with that aluminum speaker grill cover. We do still have a 9-inch portrait-style infotainment system screen, but to be honest with you, it's easy to use, and I like the way it's integrated in the dash. Let me know how you feel about it. We got all the Google built in, the Google Map, the Google Assistant, and it is full touchscreen. The big zonk is to adjust your AC controls, you gotta go into the screen. And for me, that's a little bit of a pain in the butt. Now, when it comes to seating, you do have 3 stages of heated seats, 3 stages of ventilated seats, so that's really nice. Plus, on the driver's side, we do have 3 stages of a heated steering wheel, and we have our camera angle. Now, the sad news is it takes up half of the 9-inch, so not a lot of room. So you're looking at 4.5 inches, but it's super clear. I mean, golly, I could see the raindrops falling from the sky. And then you have your parking sensors you could turn on, turn off. You could go into your different apps. Another thing that's a little bit of a pain is to change your modes. You got to go into car status. You got to hit the little gear here, and then you go into driving. Now you could change your modes. So you got your off-road mode. That's going to obviously be ready for when the pavement runs out. You got your pilot assist, all those different functions, very easily done. And you even got your 360. So that's really nice. You could pull up each of the angles around the vehicle. There's your backup camera, same story. And then we're right back where we started. You want to go home? That's your home button. Maps, boom. Down below, you do have a real volume knob. More of that open pore wood. Slide that open. This is where you could put, I would say, 5 to 6 Jolly Ranchers. Close that up, open this guy. Now we have a 12 volt, a place for 4 boxes of Tic Tacs, especially if you like to eat Funyuns and you have bad breath, and your 2 cup holders. Like the way it closes, really seamless. This is your start, stop, twisty knob. This dark crystal is actually the shifter for the 8-speed automatic. More of that nice material with the stitching. Open it up, USB-Cs, 2 of them. And this is easily where you could probably put, I would say, 4 of the Swedish Lion Beanie Babies. That one actually brings a lot of extra money, so nice to have that space there. And then the upgraded interior, love the bolstering, full power assist for the passenger, full power assist for the driver, which is great, of course, as well. And then you have this power shade for our panoramic sunroof, and you can see all the raindrops coming down on us. But like I said, the show must go on. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Volvo. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Like I said, you have 2 memory seat settings. We have that Volvo aluminum sill plate. There's your seat controls, getting wet in the rain. You even have control of the bolstering and the lumbar. Sitting here, I'm 6 feet tall, and even with that low, sleek roof, it really works super well. Steering wheel is a little bit of a letdown. I don't mind the material on the actual wheel itself, the leather. I mind this horn button, just kind of cheap. I need some stitching and stuff. And then you do have gloss black on the switchgear. Another thing to just realize, manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you have a nice large 12.3-inch infotainment system, digital gauge cluster there, which you can scroll through a cornucopia of different information, or you could just have nothing, which is really nice. And then I'm gonna have Steven show the 9-inch infotainment system again, because watch, it actually shows up what you're controlling on the actual screen there, so it's not like you have to read Braille by just using your fingers. So nicely done with that setup. But why don't we get into the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna be happy that you went Volvo over the other brands. All right, guys, back seat time. And this just goes to show that you could have some really good usable space back here. I do love the way they give us AC vents on the frame rail. Nice to have that for the rear passengers. I don't like the way they give us these cargo net things on the back of the seat. So if you were to put one of those big, I don't know if you've ever been to a candy shop where they have those big, huge jelly fish, or jelly worms or whatever. You put one in here, it's going to get all matted by the cargo net. Or if you put a Ginsu knife in here, it's just going to rip right through. I do like the command center. You have heated seats. You got your dual climate control, which is really nice to do. And then you do have your AC vent. So we actually have a total of 4 back here and 2 USB-Cs. The one thing that's a zonk is I don't like how high the drive shaft tunnel is underneath the vehicle here that pushes into the cabin. That's the one thing that I think if you're sitting in the middle, it's almost going to feel like you're riding a pony or something with how high that middle floor area is. But why don't we get into the cargo area and see how much room there is in this Volvo. All right, guys, cargo area time, real simple. Hit the button. Now, before we just jump in, one thing I want to point out is look how low that bumper area is. Very, very low, so you have a low overhang to where you could get things from ground level and bring them back. If you have a dog, a German Shepherd, a Labrador, a Golden Retriever, a Golden Doodle, whatever these weird dog names that they have, these combinations that they're making, you can get your dog easily into the back area, and they're gonna be quite spoiled. There's 23 cubic feet of space back here. You could put a square bowl with some high-end Blue Buffalo dog food back here. Don't use the Purina, that stuff is a bunch of garbage. Underneath here, what do we got going on? Lift it up, you do have a spare, so you can't cry about that. And on the passenger side, you have a 12 volt, perfect for an electric air compressor. You also can make adjustments back here by pushing that button, real simple. What's nice is, you see what I just did? You actually bring down your towing hitch. So by pressing that is how you bring out the towing hitch, and then you just put it away. There you go. How smart is that? Does your Outback have that? I don't think so. Now in the back area, of course, those seats will fold down to give you even more room, and you have a secret pass-through. So if you need to feed your dog some snacks, you could pull down that center armrest pass-through and give them some snacks. But you know what? We're not ready for the snacks yet. We need to go for a spin. So if you're ready, I'm ready. We got a damp pavement. We have all-wheel drive. Let's go for a little spin in our cross-country Volvo. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Volvo V60 Cross Country. And right away, the comfort in here is phenomenal. These seats are superb. 13-way adjustable seating comes standard, and also an air purifier comes standard as well for model year 2024. Visibility out the front is great. You got a head-up display, and of course you're going to get all the usual safety features when it comes to a new modern-day vehicle. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, am I going to be disappointed by the power, not having more power? I don't think so. I think they do a great job with eliminating boost lag. You have all-wheel drive, which on a rainy day like today is going to help you get the grip and not the slip. And it really does provide a unique driving experience, different than a BMW, an Audi, a Mercedes-Benz, and definitely an Outback. So let's talk about the Outback first, comparing it to this Volvo. Outback is a great vehicle. I love a Subaru Outback. This one is just more polished, but you got to think about the price point. I mean, it's $62,000, and depending on the Outback trim, I mean, you could be fully loaded for $45,000 and have the turbocharged power plant. So you just got to ask yourself, you know, what do you really want? What do you really need? When it comes to the extra money you're spending, I mean, you're getting a great build quality. You're getting an interior that I just absolutely love. I mean, I used to hate the 9-inch infotainment system, but now that I've become more familiar with it, it's easy to use, well within reach. And the fact that this model has the heated seats, ventilated seats,
And you got plenty of room out back as well for your passengers. It really does check off so many boxes. Plus, it's just a unique looking vehicle that you don't see a lot of wagons on the road. So you kind of stand out in a good way, especially in this new color. But pulling away from the light, good throttle sensitivity. I like the way they just have one mode, off-road mode, and that's it. But let's go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. 8-speed drops out and we're running. Obviously, you gotta love Florida drivers, but you know, the great news is that you have just enough power to get out of your own way. And if you want a more powerful Volvo V60, they have them, depending on what you want. Now, when it comes to overall acceleration, the Outback is quicker. But let's talk about the Audi. So Audi A6 Allroad, very similar to what this vehicle is. The Audi just, I don't know, there's just something about Audi style, especially on the interior. They do interiors so very well, but you are going to be paying more money for the Audi A6 Allroad. So something to think about at the end of the day. And you need to, like I said, you need to really seriously think about, well, what do you really want? What do you really need? But when it comes to this Volvo, what's great about it is that you have a nice balance of style, technology, and fit and finish, all wrapped into one. And I really, really think that that's something you're going to notice, even just driving this 10, 20 miles. It just really speaks to you on the fit and finish. And all the other, I mean, you got the Bowers Wilkins premium sound system, that digital gauge cluster. It's easy to read at a glance. And the fact that you could bring up your Google Maps, if you want to not have it on the infotainment side of things, you could bring up something else. Bring up your AC controls and have that set and still have your Google Map in front of you. But really, really nice storage. Everything has a quality feel to it. And I like the way the car feels wrapped around me in a very good way. All right, I want to do a little bit of on throttle here, especially one from a dead stop to showcase the all-wheel drive. But let me slow down a little bit here. Let's go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. 8-speed drops down and we are off. Smooth shifts from the 8-speed automatic. Steering has a lighter feel to it than what you're gonna find in a lot of the competition, and I think for some you're really gonna like that. But remember, with our lower center of gravity, it really, really handles well, and obviously you got plenty of grip. I mean, I'll show you. I'm gonna come to a complete stop. Nobody's behind us. We'll come to a complete stop again. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. Nice thing is you're not getting any lame sounds pumped in through the sound system. You're just hearing the 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. And it just has a nice ride quality to it. Soaks up the bumps perfectly with the way that they tune the suspension. And like I mentioned earlier, the visibility in this thing is really, really fantastic. But why don't we go ahead and get it out on the highway and see how it cruises down the road? Because obviously lots of people doing highway driving, so good to show off that part of the drive. But like I said, it just, with the lower center of gravity, handles well, feels good. There's good sound deadening material. You got your acoustic glass. So it really creates a nice environment to be in, especially if you're driving for long periods at a time. But going down the highway, not a lot of road noise, not a lot of wind noise. It just It feels really good. Got tons of cargo space in the back. That's going to be very beneficial. And then, like I said, being able to maneuver the vehicle, whether you're changing lanes, whether you're going down a twisty road or you're going down a trail, this vehicle does a very good job of allowing you to feel right at home. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of what the Volvo V60 Cross Country is bringing. We're going to get back to where this started and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a wet day, but it's been a good day. It's always a good day to be able to share these cars with you. First of all, we got to thank Volvo for allowing us to have access to this press plate vehicle so that we could feature it here on Raiti's Rides for you. Let me know what you think. Is a wagon the better way to go over an SUV? And would you rather have this over a Subaru Outback or an Audi A6 Allroad? Let me know in the comment section how you're feeling about this one. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. We got to give it up to Stephen Flood. You know what? He does it in the rain, snow, hail. He even filmed and did photography in a sandstorm out in the Middle East. So thank you, Stephen, for your hard work and dedication. Show him some love in the comment section. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.